All right. I'm excited to bring to you Kristin Perkins. I've been wearing her earrings all day if you haven't noticed. Kristin makes lamp-worked glass beads and sterling silver settings by fabricating and forging sheet wire and tube. The results are colorful, contemporary jewelry pieces. She does not use any molds ever. And at this time, I'm going to bring up Kristin's video and audio so she can tell you more. I can hear you, Kristin. Is it asking you? There you are.
Here I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Hi.
Hi. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself and turn off my video because everyone wants to see you.
Okay, my husband's going to be helping me with the video just so I can show some things around here too. So, and like everybody, we've never done this before, so it might be a little shaky at times, but thanks for having me. Oh.
Yeah, this is you.
It's me. Here, let's.
How do you flip it?
Oh, here we go. My husband's going to take it now. And hi, welcome to my studio. I'm Kristin. I've been making my line of glass and silver jewelry for about, well, since about 1999. I started out making jewelry actually in high school, probably around 1984 or 85. I went to Pioneer High School in Ann Arbor and had a series of metalsmithing classes, and we kind of dabbled in just about every kind of jewelry making you can imagine. And I was very passionate about it and always wanted to pursue it, but like many others, I pursued a lot of other avenues and went to college, studied history, you know, did just about everything but art. And then when I was about 30, I kind of like came back to this. And it happened when my dad bought me a series of glass blowing lessons for my birthday, and he and I did that together. And so we were learning how to blow vessels at Baron Glassworks in Ypsilanti. And then, you know, just with, you know, the joy of making glass pieces, I was very passionate again and decided to incorporate it into jewelry. And I kind of taught myself through books and minimal lessons how to make the glass beads. So I'm very self-taught in that area. And I'll show you actually the glass that I used to make my beads. These are the colorful glass rods that I use. Here we can come over and you can see why I just was so drawn to this. These beautiful glass rods are just amazing. And when I worked in downtown Ann Arbor at a venture capital firm, and I was you know, wanting to learn glass bead making, and the bead gallery in downtown Ann Arbor, they sell beads, you know, and then they also had this whole setup of all these glass rods, and I had to have them, and I had to start. So I, you know, bought my setup and worked at my dining room table, which is totally not safe or recommended, but anyway, that's kind of how I started. And so I want to bring you over here, and I want to show you what the glass beads end up looking like. So this is what they look like when they're made. And then this is a setting. So this is part of a new series that I'm making. This is a silver setting that I made by, these are actually leftover pieces, but just to show you that this is, the silver all kind of starts out in raw materials like this flat wire, sheet metal, you know, regular round wire. And then I will show you over here, this is where I make my glass beads. I have this torch here that is hooked up into my natural gas at home. And then I have this oxygen concentrator that I use that These machines are really nice because I don't have to have any oxygen tanks in my house because of the natural gas. I don't have to have any dangerous tanks in my house at all. So my studio is very safe. This oxygen concentrator takes the air and makes it into, you know, oxygen. And they're medical devices, but they have so many hours on them that they're not really used for medical anymore. They're just used in for hobby. So anyway, I have these glass rods. This is the torch that I use to melt them. And when I'm melting the glass, I wind it around this steel mandrel, and that's what actually makes the hole. And then when I'm done, I put it in this kiln that actually anneals the glass so that it's really nice and durable and it can withstand, you know, actually here, get this ring. So I rivet my glass into the metal, and that involves hammering. So it actually is a very sturdy piece of glass in the end, and you can just kind of wear it and not worry about it breaking or anything like that. And then over here, this is my metalsmithing area, and it's messy right now because I was actually soldering some things today. But this is my torch that I use for my soldering, and I love this new setup as well because I can just use this little camping propane, and then I can just use this oxygen concentrator for that setup. And then I have my ventilation here, which is, you know, very important if you're working with a flame like that, because you could poison yourself with not only carbon monoxide, but soldering with the metals and the chemicals. It's just not good for you. So this stuff gets sucked away. And
Kristen, while you're by your kiln, Stan wanted to know if you could open your kiln.
oh yeah, it's a lot smaller than yours. It's a Stan Baker. It's a lot smaller than a ceramic kiln, and the elements are on the top too, so that's kind of another difference between. But basically, I would just be, when I'm done with my glass bead, I would just put it in here and then close the door. And then I just keep putting them in. And now I will show you my jewelry. So I have a lot of new pieces this winter. I've been very productive. My husband has helped me put together a brand new website, and I am learning photography. So I'm really happy to, as soon as I have something made, I try to just get it right up on my website so that you all can look at it. And everything that you see here is actually on my website, available for sale. This is my new series that I was kind of showing you over at the bench. This is a necklace that has, here, I'm going to take it off this. It's quite a long necklace. It's about 20 inches, and then it has this handmade clasp. And then some matching earrings as well. These are colors of my logo. I don't know if you if you are familiar with my branding. I love green and orange together, and they look, it makes it even more wearable when I separate it with this gray. It actually just makes it go with so many different colors. And then these, if you know my work, I'm sure are very familiar with these. These are, I've been making these for a long time, and they continue to be very popular with my customers. They're an earring that hooks. Actually, Allison is wearing them in this color. If you noticed, our host Allison was wearing my earrings. And And I make cufflinks for men too. Men seem to actually like my jewelry a lot. I think it's like the simplicity of it, you know, the colorful, the color palette, and then the simplicity of the design. So I like it as well. And of all things, I'm very tied to my cufflinks because that's how I met my husband. we actually met at an art show, and he saw my cufflinks and came back later, you know, looking at my jewelry, and he was wearing his own cufflinks, and you know, so we kind of bonded over that, and he bought some jewelry for his niece. So I'm always what's the word when you I'm losing my words, but anyway, I always have a soft spot for my cufflinks. And then here you'll see these are also kind of classic earring designs that I continue to make because I love making them, and customers a lot of times will want to collect them in different colors, and you know, if they got a necklace, they might want to get the earrings to match later or whatever. And then here are some pieces that I kind of started last year that have a lot more silver work in them. And then down here I've got these pieces that are part of my new series that I just showed you over there. And I'm going to show you the back of them too. So there's silver that's actually all the way around. So this one has the chain kind of integrated in, and then this one it's more of a pendant with a removable chain. And with the pendants, I always offer a 16, 18, or 20-inch chain, just no matter how you prefer to wear your necklaces. You can have your choice of chain. And this is part of my STEM series, which I've been making my STEM series for quite some time. Oh, I'm going to move it so I think we're in a shadow. But anyway, I actually started making them smaller, so that the series actually used to be quite a bit bigger, and I made them smaller. I think a lot of people like small pieces too. And then I made this one that has the shape that I was working with before, just with the semicircle, just a little experiment. And then I'm very excited about these earrings. I like larger post earrings. I'll show you these. So these, ignore my ugly Band-Aid. I hurt my thumb when I was rearranging my studio. So this has all these moving parts, and it's a post. These are on my website in all different colors. The colors I have not made yet are the red and the pink. They're next. But as you can see, I always have a ton of color choices. And once I start making a series, it's just really hard to stop making colors. I just want to make it in every color. So did anybody have any questions so far? Probably like most artists, I'm not really a big talker. I'm used to kind of being
In the basement hiding.
here alone working. So I at first a half hour, I didn't know if it would be a lot of time, but now it's feeling like a lot of time.
Kristin, we don't have any questions from the audience. Were you going to do a demonstration at all today?
Yes, I will. I wanted to, this is kind of I might do more demonstrations, but I wanted to do a demonstration of the earrings that Allison is wearing. Actually, I have them in clear right here. Clear has been a really popular color because it goes with everything. And a lot of times people think that they're being boring if they want them in clear. And I think it's great because it just kind of like sparkles and picks up all the colors around you. So I made this glass bead, you know, a week ago or whatever, and I made this tube insert by cutting with a saw a longer piece of tube. And so I'm going to put the tube insert inside, and here's this one. And this is a style of earring that I developed that it's going to latch, and then it's also going to be really easy to wear because it's not going to want to get caught on like a collar. I wear a lot of turtlenecks and a lot of scarves, so when I developed this, I knew really soon what I needed to do to make it not, you know, want to rip my ear off. So anyway, I've just hammered this little detail in, and that both adds strength to the bend, and then it also looks cool. Whenever I have to show my hands, I always have some ugly injury too. So this is going to be the part that's going to hold the wire in place, and you can see that there aren't any kind of sharp edges or any edges that are sticking out that are gonna catch your hair or clothing or anything. Sorry about that. So this is the finished earring, and then because I just cut this wire, like it would just be sharp and you know, maybe cause an injury on your ear. So I'm just gonna sand this, and I'm gonna really just make sure that it's nice and smooth. And there's that one. And then I guess I won't bore you by making the other one, but essentially it's the same thing. So these are available on my website as well. They're available in just about every color, as you saw back on my table.
And Kristin, how did you shape the bead?
I think I will actually go ahead and demonstrate that for you. Honey, can you just go and...
That would be awesome.
I'm just gonna get it ready.
So while she's doing that, does anybody want to see anything specific up close?
No. I want to see the necklaces, the new series she's doing, and she's making the whole chain and the clasp, right? That sounded really neat. I wanted to see that a little bit closer. Yeah. Oh.
She's saying you make the chain and the clasp. You make the clasp.
I actually don't make this chain,
Okay.
but I make the clasp. And I make the whole entire setting. So each piece of glass is different in size and depth and everything. Like they're all entirely handmade one at a time. So every one is going to be a little bit different. See? So
they're kind of bespoke.
So I have to make every single part of it myself because, you know, they're It's just the way it is. Luckily, I enjoy it. So I have the torch all fired up. So one
Kristen,
thing that
I think that chain really complements your work. I think it's really pretty, that new chain design.
Thank you. So one thing that I wear these glasses because when you melt the glass in this flame, it's going to be really bright. It's there's soda lime in the glass, and that kind of like creates a flare. So if it bothers your eyes while you're looking at it on there, I don't know that it will, but I'm gonna wear these and just don't look at it anymore if it bothers you. I think it's gonna be bright and it might be hard to see sometimes. So I'm just gonna make a really simple, quick bead.
So what you just do?
Oh, so I have these steel rods that I dipped it into this clay mixture because when I build the glass bead around it, it's it would get stuck to this. So I use this so that it won't be stuck. And so I'm going to be slowly introducing this orange, beautiful creamsicle orange into this flame. And it might want to like shatter. So I'm just kind of like bracing myself. So I just kind of like want to heat it up gradually so that it's not going to get shocked. And then you can see it kind of like it's starting to become molten. So I'm actually going to make a small bead. It's going to be like the one that's in the new necklace that I showed you.
Kristen, can I ask you a question while you're doing that?
Yes.
So we had a question. Someone wanted to know how long it takes you to make a pair of earrings.
Well, it depends. Like the pair of earrings that I showed you that is the semicircle earrings that have all the metal and all the detail. Those took me, not counting the glass itself, those took me all day, one day. So some are more time consuming than others. The earrings that I just made, those obviously are quicker, but that didn't include making the glass, and that's kind of a process where I'm kind of making a lot of them at once so that I can get the best matching pair. So I'm not, my glass rods are really short here. But as you can see, I'm not getting burned.
And another question was, when you design a piece, do you draw it first or do you just see it in your mind's eye?
I just usually see them in my mind. Sometimes I draw pieces. When I first started, I feel like I drew more pieces, and now a lot of times pieces will come together just from, here my hand's shaking a little bit because this piece is so short. They come together a lot of times just from having a chaotic bench with a bunch of leftover pieces sitting around, and I might take a break and kind of like move pieces around and put them together, and next thing you know, I have a new design. So sometimes it comes together just from just having a lot of unfinished things, or one piece kind of like evolves into the next design, or I get ideas while I'm working on something, and then I do it for the next piece.
Excellent. And when you make a bead, how long does it have to stay in the kiln?
It often takes about, it takes really all day sometimes, because I usually set it up for the initial phase for 4 hours, because you know, I might have a session that's 4 hours long, and then it will sit at that temperature for 1 hour, and then it will ramp down. This is digitally controlled, so it will ramp down at a certain rate, and then it will it has hold times as well. So I would say that if I were to, I don't know, maybe it takes about 7 or 8 hours for the whole thing. So there's the bead. It's not my best bead, but you won't really be able to see the colors until it cools down.
So is that like 3 different colors layered together?
Yeah, so I started with this orange, and then I went to this gray, and then I went to this transparent gray, and then the green, which if I had known I was going to do this, I would have had more manageable rods, and then I wrapped it with this clear. And I like wrapping it with clear because then it just kind of like magnifies and kind of adds depth to it.
Can you show us which bead would be once it dries?
Yes.
Once it cools?
So that bead is probably, I'm not going to anneal it, so it's just going to be like a test, but it's going to look like this. Oh. So anyway, I love this color scheme. I think it looks good with this gray, of course, and it looks good with dark purple and dark blue. You would be surprised at how many colors that looks good with.
Awesome. Kristin, what is your favorite piece to make?
I love making rings, and actually I'll come and show you some more rings. But my favorite has always been the rings. And I try to have a really good variety of sizes when I'm doing shows, but what often ends up happening is that you know, the one that the people really fall in love with is not their size. So I will just make it for them and their size. So anything can kind of be, you know, customized, you know, to your own size, or, you know. But I love making rings, and I also love making bracelets too. So these are fun. I'll show you what. These are comfortable because if you're working at a keyboard, you know, if the opening is on the bottom, how that can sometimes be uncomfortable. But this is nice. I like it.
What's your favorite earring? My
favorite earring? Well, I usually wear these little ones,
the little dangles.
But last summer I was trying these, and I love how fancy they are.
Kristin, can you tell us where we can purchase your work, your website information again?
Yes. So it's KristinPerkins.com, and Kristin is spelled with an I-N. Yeah, unfortunately, I feel like a lot of times I miss emails or whatever from people because they think it's E-N, but it's I-N. And everything that I've been showing is actually available on my website. And I forgot to say that I'm having 15% off. So there is a code on my website, but so there's a code that you have to use, but it's on my website and it's easy to find. So
on the main page, yes.
Yeah.
What percentage are you having off right now?
15%.
Excellent. Awesome. Any final questions for Kristin? We've got lots of comments about how beautiful your studio is, how cute your little animal
Thanks.
is. It's very well organized.
Well, okay, I have to say, winter is one of my favorite times to get organized because I usually have an art show every single weekend during the spring and summer. And the first thing I did after my last show of the year last year is I brought all the stuff in. I, cleaned this place up. And I wanted to set this up so that I could just, enjoy it set up. And then, I never did, but then boom, this happened. And then Karen asked me to be part of this. And I just was so excited. And yeah, and so having an IKEA nearby really helps keep me organized too. I think it was Emily earlier who said that she uses a lot of IKEA stuff in her studio, and I do as well.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much, Kristin. Thank you for sharing your studio with us. That demonstration was really fabulous.
Thank you. Thanks. I had a great time. I've been on all day. You guys did an amazing job with this. Thank you for having it.
Well, thank you for being
Kristin.
on.
Thank you, Kristin. Karen's watching. I'm not going to come on, but thank you.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, Karen.
Thank you.
All right, Kristin, I'm going to mute you now and hide your video. All right, folks, that brings us to the conclusion. We'll be sure to post a link to Kristin's website on our website and in the chat box. If I can get either Karen or Elizabeth to do that for me, that would be great. At this time, I'd like to thank you so much for joining us today. With the COVID-19 forcing us to cancel our in-person Royal Oak Market Spring Art Fair, we wanted to get creative and created this first ever virtual fine art fair. We thought it was important to reimagine the event so we could connect our artists to art lovers and allow them a way to market their work. So we hope today's event was fun and entertaining and you were able to learn something, and hopefully our artists have some big sales from today and you learned lots, and we're hoping to do more of these things. So make sure you follow us on Facebook at our Guild Fairs page, as well as on our Royal Oak Market page. We'll be posting links and things if we have future events on there. So this was our first ever virtual art fair. We had a couple technical difficulties. We didn't get it on Facebook Live. We're hoping that the video recording worked all day today, and we're going to be posting a link to that hopefully soon so that folks can see that as well. We'll be sending our attendees as well as our artists a survey. It's really important that we get your feedback from that survey, since this is our first of hopefully many events like this, and we'll incorporate your feedback in future events if we get that feedback from you. So please do that if we send that to you. Should you have any questions about anything you saw today or want more information, feel free to email us at info@theguild.org. But for now, thank you so much, everybody, and I hope you have a great night. I'm going to go ahead and end the recording now. Bye, everybody.